scanning the audience. Okay, I'm going to hand this off to Cindy. Okay, hi everyone, I'm April. Today I'm going to talk about wireless routers. And each one of us has eventually come to that point where our wireless router has taken a nosedive. So when it comes to buying a wireless router, we usually get pretty excited. We're going to go buy a new device. We get to the store and we're overwhelmed by the amount of devices that are sitting on the shelves. So how do we determine which device is exactly what we need or what we want and how much we want to pay for that? So what if I told you I could help you kind of decipher through the terminology, the numbers, and everything that's on the outside of the box to try to help you make an educated decision when purchasing your new device. Today we're going to go over a few different things. We're going to go over what your wireless router actually does for you, and we're going to go over what your wireless router does for you. We're also going to go over some of the terminology on the outside of the box, and we're going to go over positioning of your router and the connection of devices in your household and how that affects your overall network. So first of all, I'm in school right now. I go to Southeast Community College. My degree is in computer information technology and I'm majoring in network management. So I have set up wireless routers in my home and at school in a classroom environment. I have also done a lot of research for this presentation as far as terminology goes to try to help us go through and make more sense of the numbers and the terminology that you see on the outside of each box. So the main points today we're going to go over is what is a wireless router and what are the terms, what do they mean, and also how does location affect us. Go ahead and go to our next slide. So up here on this slide we have our typical connection. So we have if you had Time Warner cable, this is what it would look like. Your connection from your wall to your modem to your wireless router. And I also have a setup here. This is my home set. So many people will have a wireless router that actually has antenna sticking out of it. Mine does not, so I wanted to show you that there are some that don't. They're all located inside. When you have this set up, basically your modem from your internet service provider provides your wireless router the signal, and your wireless router puts the signal in the air so that your devices, your cell phones, your laptops, your iPads, your tablets can grab the signal and have internet connection. And that's basically all that this is doing in a very simple way. Now that you kind of understand just basically what this does, we'll go ahead and touch on a few of the different terminology topics that you might see on the outside of a box of the wireless router. So for this, I actually have gone through and I found this graph itself on Forbes.com website, and it was published in 2015. I also used a website called Cisco.com for help with the terminology. They had a great article posted in 2011 that kind of explained these different generations of technology. So 802.11 is the technology, and as you can see at the bottom or at the back of each of those numbers is a letter, and that basically is the generations of them. And as you go from left to right, the further the left is the slower, older technology, and the further the right is the newer technology and the faster. When you're looking at this as far as speeds and when you're looking at the box, even though an 802.11 AC connection is the fastest connection, you have to remember also that your connection at home will only be as fast as the connection that your internet service provider provides to you. So if you have a 30 gig connection from your internet service provider, just because the box says that it might provide a 100 gigabyte connection, it won't you won't actually have that because you won't have that coming into your home. The other thing that might be on the box is single band versus dual band. And for this, I went to a website to try to really grasp the two different technologies. Single band and dual band, compnetworkingabout.com posted a article in 2015 that explained 2.4 gigahertz technology versus 5 gigahertz technology. And basically, a 2.4 gigahertz technology is a lower frequency, and as a general rule, the lower the frequency, the longer the range. So when you have your wireless signal traveling on that frequency, it can penetrate through walls and floors and ceilings a lot easier, and it can go a further distance. One disadvantage to that is that most of your household appliances, such as microwave ovens, garage door openers, cordless phones, things of that nature, will run on that frequency as well. So it tends to bog down that frequency. So the secondary frequency would be a 5 gigahertz frequency. That one doesn't tend to go as long a range, and it has a harder time penetrating through objects and walls, but on the other hand, it's not so congested because it doesn't have as many things fighting for space on the frequency. So there's many advantages and disadvantages of that. If you are concerned about which frequency to get, you can always purchase a wireless router that has both frequencies in it, and then you don't have to worry about one or the other. Whatever security comes with your wireless router is usually adequate. You don't really have to worry about that so much. They usually walk you through that. So with that, there's a lot of different terminology on the box. I've only touched on a few different things. We have a very limited amount of time, but I think we've touched on the most important ones. So we'll go ahead and look at positioning of the wireless router and also the connection. And once again, I have pulled this picture from Forbes.com, and it kind of just gives us a visual of where to put our wireless router when you are setting it up in a home. If you live in a one-bedroom apartment, it's probably not that big of a deal where you position it because the space is pretty small. But if you live in a multi-leveled home, you might want to consider putting it in a middle floor and in the center of the household itself. That way it will distribute the signal evenly throughout the household. And as a general rule, just remember that the more devices you have connected to your wireless router, the slower your connection will be because it will be working harder and be connected to more devices itself. So this is a lot of information, like I said, in a very short amount of time. So I have put up a few key things to remember if you're going to go out and try to purchase a wireless router. Oh, sorry. I don't see.
Previous at the timer.
Thank you. 802.11b is the oldest technology, and it's the slowest one. 802.11ac is the newer technology. It is the faster. There are benefits and downsides to both 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz, and those are in regards to single band and dual band. And then the more devices on your network, the slower the connection can be. And just remember to place the placement of your wireless router does make a difference in your network for optimal coverage of your entire household. Is there anything that you guys need or want, or do you have questions of any of this information?
What kind of device do you have?
This is an Apple Airport Extreme, and I like it because it's reliable, it's dependable, it has no external antenna, so it's visually nice. But it does work well. I haven't had any issues with it, but again, it's older technology, and one thing with Apple is that they tend not to display a lot of their information on the box, or like if you're gonna buy a Link system or a Netgear, they have everything listed, you know, all those numbers, all those. When you buy an Apple, they don't have that kind of stuff listed. You're just supposed to trust them.